So next up, go over the first pillar, which is a relationship with oneself. I'm gonna start off with a little personal story of my own. You know, or a quick description of how I got into rap. You know, um, Growing up, I was pretty introverted. You know, was going through a lot. On top of that, I've been introverted, and also just didn't have really anybody I can really relate to at the time. We moved around a lot, didn't really have, close friends. And family was pretty much split up emotionally, whatever, often physically. And 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 there were no family members that I could really talk to at all. You know, even if I wanted to, they just physically weren't there. If they were there, they weren't worried about me. So this was all, I ended up introverted. And there was a lot going on with a hostile environment and out of the house. Harlem, a lot of violence, Brooklyn, wherever we went, domestic violence in the crib, all that shit. There was a lot going on. I was an angry little motherfucker. So, I came across, I really started giving a fuck about, hip hop when I came across Sky, Eminem. And what brought me, what brought my attention was pretty much, of course, his lyrical content, because pretty much everything he was saying was just about what I was going through. And so that's why I connected with it. Otherwise, I kind of just took it at, a lot of songs that had bop value. Like, all right, it's catchy, you know. But when I came across this shit, it really took me somewhere, you know what I mean? And it gave me a whole other kind of appreciation for the craft. So I would actually get lost into a whole other world listening to it, just lost into an Eminem album. You know what I'm saying? At one point in my day, that's the only point in my day where I get to block out all my problems, just get lost in this pretty much circus that he would just bring you through. You know what I mean? It's like a theme park, that he would just bring you to. It's like you're in a play. Imagine walking through a Disney World, and as you go through the whole shit, there's like a play actually happening throughout the whole shit. You walk around, oh shit, this is really crazy, it's really engaging, right? That's how I felt, Like he would have skits where it's like he would get really theatrical with it. Anyway, and so another quality was the rhythm, whatever. So that first made me constantly recognize what you can do with lyrics and music, and plus the flow was awesome. I actually went as far as I would take. There were songs actually that I would, there were websites where you can look up people's lyrics and snap. Before I even found any of that shit, I actually used to take a notebook and literally write the lyrics of the song so I can practice the shit, show you how it really was. So that kind of gave me little inklings to want to think about raps. How I can, because he really ventilating. So that made me want to come up with raps, how I can express myself. Maybe so much not even whether it's topic or it's flow or just the way even the physicality of it. Like when you recite something in a lyrical pattern or coming from somewhere emotionally, there's something going on with the physiology. You know what I mean? So that kind of sparked that, and then from there, I kind of saw there's other artists that had certain qualities that I like, including Petey Crack, Jay-Z, things that Nas, So I started writing my own little raps. Never had this aspiration to be some rapper. I just thought it was really cool to put together things like that with my words, and so I started, I started having a piece of paper, But yeah, so basically that's one thing led to another. I'm putting together full raps, right? But nobody really knew about this, and it wasn't until I started showing my friends, they started knowing me as they were like, oh, what the hell, you rap, what the fuck? And then next thing you know, they listen, they're like, oh shit, you nice, and then of course I ended up recording, that led to performances, So after catching on to just rapping period, there would often be ciphers, This is back when we kind of people had some respect for rap still left over, and it was actually an engaging thing, a competitive thing also. If you were whack, they would just stop you. They would cut you off. They would tell you you're whack, But once I broke out of my shell socially, I found great refuge in bringing people together. and then we would throw parties also. I found great refuge of being one of those guys that everybody knew, that they knew, that God knew how to make sure everybody had a good time. I found great refuge in that. That that helped me get through a lot of other things going on. So we all had a lot of good times together. You know, everybody knew me. After I broke out of my shell, started from scratch, another circle. Then I brought that into my circle, whatever. So that helped me appreciate that quality of engaging a crowd, engaging a network of people. So I take those experiences and I link that with being an MC. You know, so when you think about it, how it started, what was it? It was the DJ. The DJ ran the show, and then next thing the DJ he was on the mic kicking his little shit just to get everybody hyped. The goal was simply to get people hyped. The goal was not to be the nicest on the mic. The goal wasn't to be lyrically this or trap this or all these different categories people put themselves in. It was to whatever gets people feeling good, I'm gonna say that. Whatever make me feel good, as far as while I'm spinning this music, I'm just hyped right now. I'm just feeling it. We get on the mic and I'm gonna say something. It could be a word. It could be 2 words. It could be 3 words. It doesn't matter. But it's whatever is contributing to that energy that's building in the area. That was how that shit started, right? So next thing you know, the DJs are having actually people that are like helping them carry the equipment. You know what I'm saying? Who's after helping the DJ for all the time, they understand how shit go, what adds to the vibe, what gets out of the vibe, and they got some kind of confidence from being with the DJ. So when you get confidence, you just do gutsy shit that happen to be popular sometimes. So, they would get on the shit. And next thing you know, there's people that kind of like the go-to for that, after a while. This is before people even really cared about rhyming like that, or quote-unquote rapping. This is before it was even called rapping. So that's pretty much how it started. And then after that concept, people started adding all this complexity to it and kind of just overthinking the whole thing to the point where it's not even for people. It's not even about the party or the environment. It's about that artist's self-centeredness. You know what I mean? Just turn it into this hippie. Pretty much, it's been turned into some hippie shit. It's about the artist. It's about the rappers. It's about him being the best, being the nicest, all this and that, all this flattering crap. And it just became very, can't find a word for it, but I'm just going to use self-centered for now. So that brings me to the point. So that was the what is an MC section. And this section is the actual pillar for that first pillar, which is the relationship with oneself. Which kind of illustrates segues to this point. It's probably part of the pillar. I'm not sure yet. But the goal is to figure out